Hey guys, welcome to Mystic Science channel. Today we are going to talk about scientific basis of astrology. We are going to look at astrology from the lens of science to figure out if planets and stars can have any impact on our lives. I'm going to talk about various facts and figures of the forces that impact our lives and some theory in quantum mechanics. You may have read horoscope many times in the newspaper and sometimes may have correlated the predictions with the events happening in your life. So let's take a look at the basic principles of astrology. As per astrology, the position of the planets and constellation at the time of birth of a child decides the trait of the child as a person. Let's imagine a circle with you in the center that starts from the east, goes all the way up to zenith, then to west, and then meets east again. If you divide the circle in 12 equal segments, with each segment extending up to 30-degree angle, each segment pertains to certain characteristics, which is called a house in astrology. These characteristics are decided by the positions of the constellation and planet at the time of the birth. Let's take an example to understand this better. Suppose you were born at sunrise, which means that sun was in the east and the first house when you were born. Sun would have defined your personality and your personality would be radiant. Similarly, if Jupiter was in the second house and Jupiter being the biggest planet and the guru of all the planets in the solar system, it would have defined your education and you would have got a flair of teaching. However, if you look at Jupiter at the night, it appears to be a small dot in the sky, almost 2% size of Sun. This takes us to the question that how a small dot in the night sky can have any impact on our lives. Now let's take a look at various kinds of forces that impact our lives and its relations to the planets. We are bound by the gravity of Earth at an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second. What it means is that if you drop a ball from a high-rise building, the gravity will add 9.8 meters per second velocity every second to the ball. As compared to Earth's gravity, Sun's gravity on Earth is 0.1% of g only. If you consider the impact of Sun going around our head every day, it's just going to change 0.1% of the gravity. Moon is much closer to Earth. However, it being a much smaller body, its gravitational force is also 1,000th of that of Sun. Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. It has got a mass 1,000 times of that of Earth, and as it moves around the Sun, it changes the center of the solar system by 7% of Sun's radius. However, its distance from Earth is 4 times of that of Sun to Earth, hence its gravity on Earth is very feeble. While we analyzed the gravitation force of other planets, let's look at what is the gravitation force that's applied by a heavy truck on you. That also is very, very less. Moon causes certain visible gravitation ripples on Earth by the means of tidal forces. These forces create high tide and low tide on Earth. You may have heard yogis talk about impact of moon on brain, as brain contains 80% water. However, even in the lakes that extends up to 100 kilometers wide, the high tide can displace water only by 5 centimeters. When it comes to magnetic forces, Earth itself behaves like a tiny magnet. This is due to flow of ions in the outer core of Earth which produces current and hence generates magnetic field. Similar phenomenon exists in Sun, however, impact of Sun's magnetic field on Earth is almost 1 millionth time. Solar energy acts as the lifeline of Earth. Every living being is dependent on solar energy for survival. The amount of Sun's energy that falls on Earth is roughly about 1 kilowatt per meter square. This changes as Sun rises from the east and moves to zenith. So obviously, position of the sun plays a very important role on the living beings that are out there. But what about other planets and moon? They seem to have no impact on Earth at all. Now let's take a look at the theory of quantum mechanics to see if we can find some clues here. This is the structure of an iron atom. It contains two electrons at the outermost orbit. Iron atom can give up these two electrons to combine with other elements to form molecules. As per Pauli's exclusion principle, no two electrons can occupy the same state, which means that spin quantum number of these two electrons need to be different. And if one electron has got a spin of plus half, the other must have the spin of minus half. And as per a common interpretation of quantum mechanics, the spin quantum number of an electron also follows a probabilistic behavior until it is measured. In other words, each electron will have a spin of plus half or minus half with certain probability at any given point in time. The probability graph collapses to either plus half or minus half when the spin of an electron is measured. And since the two electrons need to have opposite spin, measuring spin of one electron also decides the spin of the other electron. This process is called quantum entanglement, which makes us believe that even if the two electrons are separated by kilometers in an experiment, there is certain communication happening between the two electrons, which is at a speed faster than the speed of light. Einstein called this behavior as spooky action from distance in his seminal paper almost 100 years back. In the last 20 years, this phenomena was experimentally verified, and many countries are now experimenting with this concept to build quantum computers and quantum encryption systems. Apparently, the two electrons communicate in a higher dimension of space, which are beyond the three dimensions we can observe. Higher dimension of space is also supported by string theory, and it is also believed that gravitons, that are the carrier of gravitational force, travel in these dimensions. This takes us to the question that are there electron pairs that are separated across solar system? To find the answer of this question, let's take a look at how solar system was formed. Firstly, let's see how the quantum entanglement happens. We have seen that the electrons belonging to the same orbit of an atom are entangled. Are there any other ways to get the electrons entangled? Einstein coupled quantum entanglement theory with the behavior of bosons to propose Bose-Einstein condensate. This is essentially the fifth state of matter, which is obtained by condensating electrons to nano-Kelvin temperature so that two electrons start occupying the same state, causing entanglement. Now imagine that these two types of quantum entanglement happening in the early formation years of the solar system when the temperatures was very low, before the sun got ignited. This is the time when the entire nebula was rotating around a dead star that had all the heavy elements such as carbon, oxygen, calcium, iron for forming the planets. And it is very much possible that an entangled electron is part of our body and its pair is sitting somewhere in the solar system. So, to summarize, the element of our body has come from a dead star that has converted hydrogen to helium, helium to carbon, carbon to oxygen for billions of years. And when the star was dead, was cold, that was the place where the electrons may have gotten entangled. And with the creation of solar system, these electrons may have been separated in different planets. The process of entanglement is not just limited to electrons. Photons also can get entangled. A high energy photon from sun may split into low-energy entangled photons that may end up reaching Earth and Jupiter, and interaction of a photon on Jupiter may have an impact on the entangled photon on Earth. So in some sense, although the planets are millions of kilometers away, but there are entanglements at dimensions that cannot be observed that may have impact on Earth. That's all in today's session. Please feel free to leave your review comments and like the video if you think that you have learned something new today. Thanks for watching.